This historic moment, certainly for Nationwide News Network. You've often heard anecdotally that the financial sector meltdown of the 1990s has dampened entrepreneurial spirit in many ways, and so too the recession of the last couple of years. It has certainly caused a number of those who would ordinarily take risks to draw into their shells. And in light of that, there are several challenges to growth and development. One of those being a fall off, of course, in jobs. And so the unemployment rate gallops at rates unfavorable to growth and development in Jamaica. As a media entity, Nationwide News Network is always searching for ways in which we can improve the lives of Jamaicans, because we believe that the improvement in the lives of Jamaicans must mean an improvement in the quality of life for all. And we're often and always searching for solutions. We have, as the head of our entity, Cliff Hughes, who is known for seeking out the solutions and not at all inhibited by any failings in the past in going forward. And so it's against that background and with that underpinning that I'm really pleased to have all of you here this morning, and thank you so much to our very ardent supporters in Radioland for joining us this morning for the launch of the Entrepreneurial Challenge. Seated at the platform, we thank so much Professor Rosalie Hamilton, who will be Scotiabank Chair of Entrepreneurship and Development. That's what she is, and Vice President at the University of Technology, Jamaica. She's also President of the MSME Alliance. Give her a round of applause this morning. And thank you as well to Mrs. Monique Todd, who is also seated next to Mr. Hughes. Mrs. Monique Todd is Vice President, Marketing, Public and Corporate Affairs at Scotiabank. Thank you. And Cliff Hughes, who is so many things. And he stands out big time this morning. I love the colors, Mr. Hughes. Very bright, but it's a bright moment for Jamaica. And so we thank you so much. We expect to be joined in a moment by the Honorable Anthony Hilton, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, who has in fact sent his lateness apology because he's coming from another meeting, so we will have him in just a moment. So the partnership here is between Nationwide News Network and, of course, Scotiabank, an entity that is known for its spirit of giving back to community like so many others. And also the University of Technology, which is also grooming Professor Hamilton in the ways that she has so far been groomed and will continue. And we are going to be hearing so much more about make sure you say the Entrepreneurial Challenge, because I'm sure there are many others, but this is the one. So I'm going to ask at this time for Mr. Cliff Hughes from Nationwide, the CEO and executive producer, to give us a historical background to the Entrepreneurial Challenge.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pause to recognize the members of the team who are with us from Scotiabank, Monique and her team from Scotiabank, who have played a very pivotal role in getting us to where we are this morning. Also, I would like to recognize the presence of Mr. Davis from JBDC, which is Jamaica Business Development Corporation. Mr. Davis and I go back a little while. He went to Excelsior, a very good school, where we were schooled. But not only that, his mother was one of my former teachers. Right. We won't hold it against you, Emily, that you went to Manning's. But in terms of the historical background, this idea started sometime in the third quarter of 2011 when I was the officer giving oversight to the sales and marketing department at Nationwide. As Emily said, I do several things. It's one of the characteristics of medium-sized businesses. Yes? You have to do many things as owner, operator, and chief marketing officer. And at that time, I challenged the team that it was about June, July, that we needed to make sure that come the fourth quarter of the year, all of the individual BDEs, business development executives, would launch a particular project that will in some way not only give back to the community, but also generate a small profit. Because let us be very honest, we're not in this business, Monique, for only altruistic purposes. We are first and foremost a commercial operator in a very tough marketplace, a very tough business environment. So we're always driven, not only by altruistic purposes, because I believe that in pursuing goals that provide quality service, quality products, give value to people, are the best way of ensuring commercial returns. You know? And that philosophy drives us as a business at Nationwide. Okay? We must always add value to our listeners. So we do not apologize when we say we are a multimedia entity with a mission. That mission to be the place of record for broadcast journalism in Jamaica. And in pursuit of that place of record reputation, we are also in the business of empowering our listeners so that they become better participants in the Jamaica Development Project. That we are better citizens, we are empowered, we're better informed to take part in the democracy. That democracy is in peril when we continue to slip, as we have been slipping in terms of our competitiveness as a political economy. We see it in intolerable levels of crime, including homicides, robberies. We see it in declining levels in our education sector. We see it as parents, as business people, when you employ the deficiencies that people are coming to you with in terms of their human resource skills. Yeah? So we not only talk about the problems, we try to be part of the solution. And we must give her full marks. Miss Charmaine Wallace, where is she? She's busy about the place. It was her brainchild, this idea of really recognizing and rewarding members of the micro, small, and medium-sized sector who have been through hell and back, and they're still with us, and they're not going anywhere. Charmaine came to us with the idea. It was thrashed out internally, and it went through a process of evolution. And she reached out to Professor Rosalie Hamilton at the University of Technology. And as is expected of a university, where it's not only about theory, but the application of theory to practices and the development challenges of societies, Professor Hamilton responded admirably. She was very, very quick off the draw. She brought all of her academic skills, technical understanding, and the fact that she is the president of the MSME Alliance to bear on the concept, and it has gelled to this point. Professor Hamilton opened the door for us to Scotiabank, and Scotiabank, being the very agile corporate citizen it is, never missing an opportunity, they also responded very quickly. So what do we have this morning? We have a tripartite relationship and partnership here. Academia, applying theory to practice. Financial muscle and strength. Bankers of Jamaica for more than 100 years. And the finest broadcast institution in the country. So, so those who apply, and you're going to hear the rules of the competition in a little while, will know that they have the technical support from UTech, they have the financial muscle of BNS, and they have the marketing and promotional medium that is Nationwide 90 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say special thanks again to the members of my sales staff who gave birth to this idea. They must be commended, in particular, Mrs. Charmaine Wallace, and she's now, that team is now being ably led by Mrs. Jacqueline Daly. Stand, Jackie. Jackie is the captain of the team, who is now going to take over from me and score the boundaries. Okay? Thanks very much.
I'm not so sure it's a good time to be making the analogy with cricket, you know, Mr. Hughes. We haven't been making many boundaries in a long time, but nonetheless, it's good. I told you he stands out this morning, as he does always. So I'm going to ask now the president of the MSME Alliance, but particularly Scotiabank Chair of Entrepreneurship and Development, Professor Rosalie Hamilton, to come and give us the competition overview now.
Good morning all. Thank you so much for being here. You heard about this exciting partnership, and I'm really so very pleased at the responsiveness of Scotiabank and Nationwide to really making this thing a reality. We've been in discussion for some time now, so I'm quite pleased because, as you've all heard, this is a very difficult time for micro, small and medium-sized businesses, and this kind of competition we expect will not only excite them, but ultimately reward them for being first-class entrepreneurs. So I just want to take you through the 6 stages of the competition, and the first stage will require everybody who is listening online and on the radio to go online and log in to the entrepreneurialchallenge.com. And there you will see the opportunity to complete an application form. The application form must be completed online. Any Jamaican business that has been operating for at least 2 years during the period that we are interested in, 2008 to 2011, we've defined as the period of the global recession. If you're in business, you're Jamaican, you've been around for 2 years, you can apply. But preference will be given to businesses that fulfill at least one of 3 criteria. 1, that you must employ less than 50 employees, full-time and or part-time. 2, earn no more than $100 million in annual revenues. 3, own no more than $150 million in assets. So here we're trying to give preference to the group we call micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. And I heard Cliff talking about Nationwide as a medium enterprise and having to juggle, but Nationwide is not eligible to be part of the competition. Okay, so that's your stage 1. And the application must be submitted before the deadline, March 19th.